All right, Kevin back with you for another episode of the $1 Million Relationships Podcast. And today I'm here with Sammy Travis. Sammy, welcome. So awesome to have you on the show today.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Really looking forward to diving a bit deeper on this. Yeah,
Absolutely. I am totally with you, man. I really appreciate the conversation we had before and getting to know you a little bit and find out what some of the stuff you guys are work on because it is really, really awesome. And I want to start off by giving a shout out to Hunter Hensley because Hunter was the one that introduced you and I. And I'll tell you, what a testament to the power of right relationships right there. Because, I don't know what it was like for you, Sammy, but when you and I spoke before, for me, it just kind of felt like you and we'd known each other for years because of the relationship that I had with Hunter and stuff. I'm like, anytime Hunter says, Kev, I think you should talk to so and so, and here's why. I'm like, because of who Hunter is, I'm just like, I'm all in. I'm like, if you think that, absolutely. And so when you and I did connect, yeah, I was like, man, it was just great getting to know you, and I've been looking forward to this. I would imagine you feel something similar to that, huh?
yeah, exactly. It's always good being connected through somebody you already know as well.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, thanks. Shout out to Hunter as well. He's a great guy, and
he
yeah,
is
like, it just shows the power of relationships as well. Because you and I would have probably never crossed paths as well without that.
probably
So
have never
yeah,
have met. Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. And where are you located, Sammy?
I'm just outside of London, UK. Yeah.
Just outside of London, UK. And here we are, power of technology right here, just having a conversation because I'm all the way in, Seattle, Washington area. And it wasn't that long ago where this wasn't even possible. And
Yeah.
so I'm looking forward to this conversation. And what I want to do is I want to start off by just turning it over to you, Sammy, so
Yep.
that we can set a little bit of context. I want you to be able to talk about,
Mhm.
what you guys are doing, what you're doing, who you serve, what
Yep.
inspires you most about the
Mm.
work that you're doing and the impact you guys are making. And also give us some of the backstory. How'd you get here? How'd you even get into doing what you do?
Yeah, sure. I'll set some context around sort of what we do first, then we can.
Okay.
I'll give you some more background information because it makes sense. But essentially, look, recently developed some software for essentially any business, right? What it does, it pulls intent data across search engines such as Google, Bing, or Yahoo, and essentially we detect keywords from people who are potentially searching for your product or service for that business. So take for example, right, in someone's in Jacksonville, Florida, and they search for an AC water heater or solar panels, SEO services, whatever the keyword is, right? We can tailor it. We're able to pull and detect their data in real time and deliver that as a lead form,
Okay.
essentially into a company's CRM. The data that we do pull on, the user is name, number, email address, phone number. And if you're wondering, is this compliant? Yes, it's totally compliant because we've done a lot of research and investments in lawyers to ensure that we're fully compliant and abiding by local state laws. Um, so yeah, it's very interesting. The main people that and companies that we're serving at the moment, anything range from marketing agencies, SaaS startups, home services, solar, roofing, a real range because at the end of the day, businesses want new customers. And we're helping facilitate that. I know a lot of, the lead generation space has a somewhat of a bad reputation potentially. But we're trying to help change that and just deliver direct intent data from people who are actively searching for your product or service. We just see this as a natural evolution of lead generation and that space because there's plenty of providers out there where you can search for lead lists and Apollo, you can pull massive data, but these people might not necessarily be interested in your product or service. So
Mhm.
we're just wanting to take that in to the next level, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah, just reverting back to your question as well, how did this all start? I was lucky enough to get an opportunity to work in Dubai with an AI startup. This is going back 3 years,
Okay.
and uh, thanks out to the founder there, he sort of showed me the ways of the AI agent space, and as almost a founder's associate. I worked in multiple areas of the business, and this just gave me great insight and experience into what it takes to succeed, build great products in the tech space. And I also identified needs that, getting and reaching out to customers, in my opinion, is almost the number one problem that needs to be solved. And sort of from that experience, I transitioned and sort of took some initiative to build a product with my current tech founder as well. So it's been a great journey so far, and we're obviously not done yet.
Yeah. So, what's one of the most exciting discoveries you've made along the way in this journey so far, Sammy?
I honestly, I would say meeting great people, yourself one of them, especially in the US, who are willing to, give more of a helping hand. And, this, our product isn't for everyone, but they're like, hey, look, but you want to talk to this guy over here because he could do with this really well. In the
Mhm.
UK, it's so different because
Okay.
people aren't as, by the way, our software only works in the US as well. So it works great. But in the UK, it's a complete different mindset. I think Europe in general, it's not as optimistic and entrepreneurial as such. You
Okay.
don't get that referral network of helping out as much in the UK. Whereas in the US, you meet a few people and they open multiple doors for you. And yeah, just honestly, the power of relationships and meeting new people, I found that to be a fantastic part of the business, and which was
Yeah.
surprising to me as well.
Very cool. So, what is an example? And you don't have to name names or anything like
Yeah.
that, but what's an example of a result that you have helped a client get that you are just incredibly proud of?
Yeah. Well, there's a few. But what I would say is acquiring five new customers in the first month, essentially. For
Okay.
this was one of my who we've sort of partnered up our companies now. But we delivered five new customers to him in the first month, and obviously that doesn't happen to everyone. But we was very pleased with that result for him because it came at a time where he was running campaigns. He does a credit card processing company. He
Okay.
was he had existing campaigns. He burnt through a lot of money that didn't work, and we were able to deliver intent leads to him, which he was able to close. And then the customers he onboarded were long term revenue generation for him as well.
Yeah.
So that
So
that was
he
that was
does
really,
so he does merchant processing.
yeah,
And so his clients are businesses that accept credit cards for payment for their services and stuff.
yeah,
And so for somebody who does merchant processing like that, typically, I mean, if I mean, I've been with my merchant processing company for years. I've got a really
yeah.
great relationship with them, and so I don't know what the typical experience is. Maybe you know more than I do, but if there, I've had previous merchant processing companies but before I knew better, that I had like zero relationship with.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was like I didn't have a contact person to talk
Yeah.
with or anything like that. And at one point they even got a hold of me and said, we're no longer serving your kind of business. And so you've got 1 month to
Oh,
find a new merchant provider. And I'd had a perfect track record with them, like no refunds, no chargebacks, no nothing. They just decided we're not serving you anymore after all these years.
wow.
and uh, and that was when I learned that, you know what, I want to have a merchant provider that I have a relationship with, that if I needed to talk with somebody, I could get a hold of somebody,
Yes,
and so, and I'll tell you, when you have that,
mhm.
man, that's going to be a long-term relationship right there. So that's not picking up a client for like a one-time sale kind of a thing. That's an ongoing relationship there,
Yeah,
where that could go for years,
yeah.
if they're got a great relationship and stuff. So that's that's a lot bigger, when we start to look at it,
Mhm.
now getting 5 new clients, that's a substantial thing right there.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we want to do. There's no guarantees with results in this industry specifically. But if we are able to deliver results and great data for these companies to market to and drive new revenue streams, it's fantastic. And it's a situation where everybody wins.
Yeah,
So
for sure. For sure.
that's it.
Okay, so now that we've got some context set here,
Mhm.
I'm going to switch gears just a little bit, and I'm going to reiterate the question that I want to ask you for the benefit of our listeners. So, Sammy, have you ever been introduced to a person or persons who completely changed the course of your life or your business, so much so that much of what you have today would not be possible if not for this person or persons? And I'm just really excited to hear your story and your experience around this topic of relationships.
Yeah, for sure. It was at an event out in Abu Dhabi,
Okay.
specifically, and I got introduced to a guy named Mark. And at the time, he was running a AI agency, slightly different to the area I was involved in. And he essentially gave me months and a lot of time of training, sharing knowledge, specific knowledge in particular, how his mind worked in terms of innovation. He was at the forefront of technology continuously, and
Okay.
he continuously blew my mind with the things that I didn't know was possible at the time, all down to relationships. And yeah, he just gave me such a wealth of insight, new skills that I didn't know, you know, people had. Um, and honestly, that was honestly life changing. That 6 months to 12 months or however long we actually spent sort of working together. It was a dynamic relation. It was kind of like a mentor relationship, but we were doing a lot of training and stuff together. But that in particular stands out because then that's where my attention drew towards the tech industry and software and the
Okay.
capabilities that are out there now, thanks to AI as well in particular.
Yeah. Yeah. I am definitely not someone who would be considered up on AI. If anything, I'm kind
Yeah,
of, behind the curve on that. But when I mean, I'm absolutely fascinated by it,
yeah.
and there's a lot of people doing some really amazing things with
Mm.
AI, and for you, so what's an example of a situation where you got to make a really substantial impact? Maybe in the moment, maybe it even surprised you a little bit,
Mm.
but you also know that would have never been possible if not for your relationship with this individual. What's an example of something like that, Sammy?
Wait, in terms of something that changed the course, or that just really
Yeah,
stuck with
yeah, and an example of a specific situation that came from your relationship where that you were like that happened as a result of something you learned or something that
you?
because of this relationship.
You know what? Actually, I would actually pinpoint it back to the first customer that we onboarded to our software.
Okay, okay,
I would personally, because yeah, going back a few years, I'm like, it's led up to now, and I was overwhelmed, excited that we got our first customer on board. I'm like, okay, this is, starting to build momentum as well, even though it was early days. But
Sure.
I could see the results starting to come from 2, 3 years ago from that specific
Yeah.
relationship,
Yeah.
which has fueled a journey, which the results are only really starting to show 2 or 3 years later down the line. And then
Yeah.
I actually pinpointed it back to that. I'll be like, yeah, if I never met, yeah, this wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have this
Totally.
opportunity, and I wouldn't have onboarded this client and be, really excited that we've done this. So yeah,
Yeah.
that moment particularly, I'd say.
Yeah. I can think about those kind of experiences in my own life. I've had three major pivots in my life, in my
Yeah,
entrepreneurial life over 30 years. And I remember in each of those getting my first customers in each of those.
yeah,
And what an amazing feeling that was, because it just like, okay, now we've got proof of concept here.
yep.
That now we can just continue like just testing and figuring out what works but there's signs of life here because it's working and somebody invested, somebody voted with their wallet and said, yes, I believe there's value in this. And man, what a great feeling that is,
Mhm. Yeah,
so
for sure. It just shows you, how if you stay disciplined and you have desire to what you believe in, it's inevitable that it will pay off and the results will come, I believe.
yeah, absolutely. So what's your vision for the company going forward from here, Sammy?
Good, good question. Well, I would see as a natural progression that we begin to build out more AI products um,
Okay.
to work as sort of to complement the intent data that we already provide to users. Um, so we're delivering data, which is great. But if we can produce AI agents to sit in front of businesses to qualify and nurture these incoming leads, not only from our intent data, but their existing lead generation channels already. That would be fantastic because that's going to save SDRs a lot of time. Because notoriously some salespeople won't follow up with leads correctly. They won't um, reach out to a lead as soon as it comes into the business. So we're looking to leverage AI agents, AI employees, whatever you want to call them, to take out and remove the time that people are spending wasting on lead communications.
Okay.
There are companies out there that are doing this, but we see it as part of our company to integrate that as well. So yeah, definitely in the AI agent. We just see that. Look, everyone's like, "Oh, AI will replace jobs." It will, unfortunately, replace some jobs. But the way we're wanting to use it, we want it to enhance people's jobs. So a sales rep can spend less time qualifying and phoning up leads and more time on sales calls and actually closing deals for the company. So we
Mhm.
can position AI just in front of that to help out with that. And then the second route that we're taking, which we're building out at the moment, is database reactivation. So essentially, take for example, a financial advisory company may have 30,000 old leads that they
Mhm.
haven't closed or at some point in the sales pipeline has fallen through the
Okay.
cracks. We've built an AI system that can we upload that data into there, and then it will reach out via SMS, WhatsApp, or email, just a hand raiser to all of these old leads, just saying, "Hey, look, we've got this offer on at the moment. Just let us know if you want to have a conversation." All we're simply trying to do is just get them back in the sales pipeline. Even if you get a 1 to 2% close rate off of that database, it's revenue that's just sitting there, and some companies are sitting on a gold mine. So yeah, we're really looking to leverage AI and in terms of the lead nurturing and lead reactivation while we're already providing intent data. So they're the sort of main two areas that we're looking at the moment. If there's anything that didn't quite you want me to go into more detail, what I just said, just let me know because
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I mean, even from my own experience, I
yeah,
think that so many companies don't follow up enough.
yep,
And I, my personal take on, if we're talking like sales conversation, I look at sales conversations a little bit different because I'm just having heart-to-heart conversations with people that if I believe that we can be of service to them, then I just want to explore that with them and stuff and find out, okay, what is the value proposition here? And so in my job in that sales conversation isn't to make a sale, it's to help that person make a decision.
yep,
And it's the decision is either yes or now, yes or no, or right now is not the right timing, but later would be the right timing,
yep,
And and I'm totally fine with either decision that is made. But I just want to have a decision made just so that I don't have someone in my pipeline that doesn't want to be there and stuff. And and I'll tell you, but if the decision is that right now isn't the right timing, well, guess what? I'm going to follow up. And in fact, I even put something on the calendar right there with them on the spot. It's like, okay, well then let's follow up, have a conversation in whatever that time frame is, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, and stay in touch with people and stuff, especially if we just know in our heart that we can be of value and be of service to them, then there's no reason not to keep that communication line open. And I'll tell you, a lot of times, I mean, I've made sales that were like 6 months, 8 months,
yep.
10 months, a year down the line, just because I stayed in touch. And it's not that hard to do, especially in today's world when we got all these CRMs and stuff.
Yep.
And
Yeah, exactly that. But on the other hand, if you've got a large volume of follow-ups that you need to do, you could lose track of them.
oh,
So,
when you're talking
yeah,
30,000, you bet I don't have 30,000 leads that
yeah,
I need to keep track of.
yeah. Well, yeah, yeah, exactly. But then the AI has a built-in memory function where if you tell it, "Hey, look, I don't want to talk to you now, but contact me on the 15th of October,"
Yeah.
that on that time, the AI is going to send them a follow-up message, and that's
Yes.
just running in the background of the company. But in terms from a company's perspective, this that particular AI investment, because it is, would save money on
Oh, yeah.
staff costs, but then they could also invest more staff to close deals and drive more of the actual revenue generating activities, not the follow-ups and the admin and the lead lists and reaching out to leads who aren't interested. So we're looking to really enhance that for businesses as well.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, I mean, it's mind blowing to think. I mean, I've seen people do some just absolutely amazing stuff with AI. I just had a guy do me, we hopped on Zoom yesterday and he showed me what he was doing. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's mind blowing what people are doing with AI. And
Yeah.
and even what you're talking about, this whether it's, I mean, I've even heard voice messages sent via AI that you cannot tell it's not a human talking to them and stuff. You cannot tell. And it's really mind blowing to think about some of this stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's moving so fast as well. It's
yeah,
every someone said this to me, like AI today is the worst it's ever going to be. And
yeah,
that's so true, isn't it? If you think
yeah,
about it. It's
yeah,
constantly getting like smarter, faster. The only real thing is like where these data centers that they're having to build, they can't build them fast enough. That's going to be
yeah,
the issue with AI.
yeah,
And the
yeah.
energy that it takes is it's only going to get
Yes,
a larger demand. But yeah, what an interesting, you know, bit of technology that everyone can leverage.
yeah,
And um, as well, if you think of AI, I heard a comparison a few weeks ago, and it's pretty true. When this may sound a bit weird, when refrigerators were built, right, and invented, they didn't make empires necessarily, right? It was a good invention, but it didn't really make billion-dollar companies or whatever. AI is like a refrigerator, but what did make empires is Coca-Cola being stored in a refrigerator. I think it's all these tools around AI that is going to fit into AI as the refrigerator that is really going to build and shape new industries and make billion-dollar companies like
Totally.
Coca-Cola. Do you see the
Yeah.
analogy?
Yeah, because there's so many
Yeah.
applications for it and stuff.
Yeah, like AI alone is like it's a big term. It's like a storage, but it's everything that people are going to build and innovate within that ecosystem that is really going, even in the next year, will be like, wow, I didn't even know that was good. Um,
Yes.
so it's
Yeah.
going to be really interesting to see.
Oh, it is. It's interesting now. And like you said, today is the worst it will ever be,
Yeah. Yeah.
is the or how the most inefficient it will ever be,
Yeah. It's
And
scary.
yeah, I mean, mind blowing to think about. Well, Sammy, for anybody listening to this, thinking, man, Kevin, I'm really intrigued by some of the stuff that Sammy's talking about here. And if they're curious about finding out more about you or the work you're doing, any websites, any resources we can share with folks?
Yeah, sure. You just head over to our website, everleadai.com. We're
Okay.
on LinkedIn. I've got my LinkedIn page, which I can share with you lot as well. And yeah, we're actually looking to do some blogs as well within our website where we're just going into more details about our products and our upcoming launches of the new AI products that I explained. So yeah, it's good stuff.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Sammy, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to have this conversation today. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you. And I'm excited to share this with a lot of other folks. So thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.